In today's video, we're heading to the nation's capital. Why?
They make it like that. My name is Kris, and my online name is Go Via or Go Home. I'm originally from Brampton, Ontario, but I live in Ottawa, Ontario now.
So this past weekend was a long weekend and I went to Ottawa. Friends of ours invited us to go. We took the whole family. It was a whole road trip. You'll see a vlog about it on my wife's channel. But I thought to myself, I'm going to Ottawa, which for those of you who don't know, I'm from the Greater Toronto area, which means that it's about a 5-hour drive. Now I have 2 kids, 3 and under. It was about a 7-hour drive. I thought to myself, I'm going to Ottawa, I might as well meet up with my good friend Kris from Go Via or Go Home and check out his layout. Now, I say good friend, I mean, we haven't been friends for very long, we honestly just met on YouTube, but it's like we're old friends. I mean, when you have similar interests, it's very easy to get along. How long have you been doing model trains?
Feels like my entire life. 36, so obviously I went through that phase when I was younger where I was given my first train set by my uncle, and then the teen years, kick in, and it was all about skateboarding. But ever since I found out that I was having a boy 8 years ago, when just after my wife and I got married, I decided to pull out that box of trains again and start building a layout, something to share with my kids, and then we ended up having a second boy. So I needed more trains. That's my excuse anyways. So I started with 2 modules that were both about 7 feet long, 2 feet wide. Then when I moved into a bigger house where we had a full basement, I had a 10 or 12 foot by 14 foot layout that basically looped back on itself. It was a giant loop. We moved again, so that had to come apart, and now I'm here, and this layout is three levels high, which I've never done before, and it is 14 by 18 feet. It's a project that I feel like I wanted to try. Something I was scared of doing was a helix, but then when you do it and you realize, oh, it's not as bad as what you think it will be. And then I'm not doing one in the traditional sense where you've got the 2 rods going up or the blocks spacing each level. I literally have 2x4s on the inside with L brackets holding up each level, increasing by 1/4 of an inch every 2 feet. I model what I know. So growing up in Ontario, I did see a lot of Via Rail, Go Transit, and one of the first locomotives I've ever owned was an Ontario Northland. So I definitely wanted to continue that on because it was one of my favorites. As far as the channel name, not a lot of people know it, but it actually started as an eBay name. And when I was selling and buying on eBay, you have to create an account. And I'm like, well, my personality is go big or go home. And that's, I just changed it so it's Go Via or Go Home, because Via is also one of my favorites, so I just changed it. And it started as the eBay name, and then I changed it over, or I continued it over to YouTube when I did create my YouTube channel. It's a big play on words, and it works.
It's kind of what drew me to your channel, to be honest.
Oh,
I
really?
saw your name and I was like, that's hilarious.
I've gotten a lot of compliments just on the name, which I don't think much of, because it's just like, what's in a name, right? Like, a lot of people will just use their name which is cool because it's easy to remember. I've always gone by a name that was never my own, always an alias. I have no idea why, but even when I was skateboarding, people always referred to me as my favorite skater because I dressed like that person, I skated like that person, so they always refer to me as, oh, you know, there he is. And then now it's always, oh, it's Govia. You know, not a lot of people even know my real name is Kris, and so it just happens, I guess.
I know from Chris's videos that he models modern Canadian HO scale. Now, I know it's rude to show up to someone's house empty-handed, so I thought to myself, why don't I do a car for him? And that's what you saw on the previous 2 videos. If you haven't seen those videos, I'll link a playlist to both of them right here. I go into depth on how I did the graffiti and also how I did the weathering on the car. I think it turned out great. Truthfully, I kind of wanted to keep the car, but it was a little bit too big for my scale, seeing as I model N scale. I guess with being part of the skateboard culture, the graffiti thing stands out to you then?
Yes, I was a huge art student. Probably one of my favorite subjects, and I really enjoy it as an art. It's to me, it's not defacing public property or anything like that, because it's never done in a harmful way. When you respect the art, then you tend to appreciate it that much more. And when you apply it to the things that you do, such as graffitiing a boxcar or something, it's not bad because you're not defacing public property. And in most cases, you're doing it to represent something that somebody else already did if you're doing it prototypical.
So have you done a lot of graffiti on your layout?
I've done a lot of cars, not so much on the actual layout. Yeah, I'm still expanding. It's so hard to focus on one thing when you've got 50 things on the go. So I try to do a little bit of this and then a little bit of that. And if I get bored of doing this, then I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta do some more graffitiing. And especially watching your channel, I'm like, oh, I've got like a bunch of new cars that I wanna do up. So I used to be very, no, I spent, $40 on this boxcar. I spent $200, $300 on this locomotive. I want it to look crisp and clean and new. Then I don't know what hit me, but there was a certain level of appreciation that came in once I started seeing what you could do and how much more realistic you can make it look once you add a bit of grime or graffiti and whatnot. And now I've totally flipped the script, and I really want to get into making everything look as realistic as possible. They make it like that.
I don't have the original box, but I do have this for you.
Oh, nice. This is the one that you did. I don't want to touch it with my fingers because I don't want to get my finger oils on it. That's nice.
Now, the car was very well received, and I'm so grateful for that. I love seeing my work on other people's layouts, and I also love seeing other people's work. I love seeing how people do the same thing, because everybody has a different spin on it. So you saw the foreshadowing in the video. I wasn't sure if you were going to pick up on what I was up to.
When I saw the go home, I was like, that's convenient.
Now, before we wrap it up, I did want to mention one thing. I also brought him a hat. Now, this hat, I'm sure you've seen me wear in almost all of my videos, if not this, a variation of the same hat. But this is a hat by the company Sterling Society, and I'm a huge supporter of this company, mostly because they're really cool hats, and I'm proud to support Canadian brands, and also because the owner of the company is the godfather of my children. So, of course, I want to support him in any way that I can. So I thought, you know what, I'm heading east. I brought Kris an East End version of this hat. There's also a downtown version. There's dad hats, there's snapbacks. I'll link it all below. They are fantastic. But I just want to thank you, and I want to thank Kris especially for being a part of this video. Now, if you like content like this and you're not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe and click the like button. It really makes a difference. Also, don't forget to hit the bell so that you're notified every single time I post a new video. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and remember, they make it like that.